Hiya. Oh my gosh, I'm putting you in the sun. Day's lovely and I've just come back from work and guess where I am? Let me show you where I am. I'm sure you've guessed it already. Yep. You guessed right. I'm at the allotment and I'm here because one, it's hot. The weather is perfect for growing. Two, I need to sort out a few issues such as the fact that this bed has slowly denatured to start being a weed collector, and if I'm going to be pulling out weeds like this, I need somewhere to put the stuff I pull out. So today my plan is, number one, get this bed covered so I can put some of the stuff I've got here today into it and make sure I don't fall over. Two is to excuse me, set up my 2 compost bins so that I can actually start to sort it out. And my solution for setting up my compost bin is as follows. Let me show you. 2 of the compost bins are going to go here. I think one is going to be there. The other one is here in this corner. And that is actually a tile, a bathroom tile. But it happens to be the right size for the compost bin. It will stop weeds coming up through into the compost bin. And so because of that, that is what I've chosen to use. So today I've got 2 bins. Actually, I think one is going to go there. And I'll put the other one here at the edge of the allotment here because I don't plan to put anything else around here. So this would be a perfect space to put the second one. The plants I put in yesterday look absolutely fine and hunky-dory. They're not complaining. And I've also got a few more plants. Today I've decided to take a risk and try putting out some of these guys. So I've got a couple of peppers, 2 tomatoes and 2 aubergines. In fact, I've got 3 peppers. That's how flush I am with peppers. And I've got some broccoli here, which I just got from the garden centre because I went to get some more poles because I want to build a bean pole. Don't know if I'll get to that today, but I'll also... So priority 1, cover this. Priority 2, cover this again. Priority 3, cover this bed with a proper weed membrane to stop all that crap that's currently coming out from being able to come out. So just cover it all and go from there. And then priority 4, compost bins. So let's get started. It's going to be tough work because my weed membrane is so far down in that shed. I don't know if I can actually reach it, but we shall find out. I don't know if you noticed the fact that I almost tipped you over. That was surprisingly easy. Let me see if I've got scissors. Let's see if these scissors will work on this. Alright, I think the easiest one to start with will be dealing with the weeded bed here. So I'm going to turn you around. And another thing I'm going to start doing, I've noticed a few allotmenteers doing it, which is to set a timer and do 10. But since I'm a fly lady girl, I am going to do 15 minutes. If you don't know who the fly lady is, look it up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 15 minutes of weeding every time I'm down. So let's set the timer and see how well we do. And I'm going to do, no, I'm not going to do that now, but I'm going to clear this bed before I cover it, and I'm going to see how much of the weeding time it takes up so that I'm not wasting a lot of time on weeding because there are things that I need to do. gosh, that took a lot longer than expected to do, and it was hard work, especially because it's hot. I've done as much as I can. I'm going to now put on the weed membrane, and I'm just going to let it cover everything as much as is possible. Possibly try and pull out the weeding there. I think I have achieved the 15 minutes I wanted to achieve of weeding, and boy, it was tough. I'm almost tempted to take it down to 10 minutes a day because that was a lot of work. The soil in there is very, very compacted and hard underneath this manure, so I don't know what I'm going to have to think what it is I'll plant in there, because I have no clue what will be able to dig into that soil and get below the surface to get to where it needs to go. But that will be decided later. For today, let's focus, because it's now 3:10. Let's get on, cover this membrane over the bed, and then get on to covering the areas where I'm putting my brassicas, so I can put in the plants I came with. I'm going to put the peppers close to where the garlic is and see how they do. Okay, that's part one done, and I don't think I'm going to return this pallet thing there. I'm going to move it to where I'm putting the compost bins, in order that I can sit the compost bins on there, I think, so that they're raised totally and completely off the ground. I don't know how that will affect it, whether or not I'll end up with loads of weeds underneath, but until I try it, I don't know whether or not it will work. And as you can see, I've got weed membrane wide enough to extend beyond the bed, and I've made sure I extend it beyond the bed, so I totally and completely suppress any exit strategy any of those bits of weeds that are left in there can actually use to try and take over my territory. Now let's move the pallet to where we want it, and then after that let's get on and cover the beds, put in the plants, and then go home. I'm not planning to stay long. I'm going to also have a drink right now because I am thirsty, and I'm trying to make sure I drink something whilst I'm here. So I made some ribena for a little bit of a glucose hit. Not bad at all. They fit perfectly on these tiles that I got. So if you find a 60 centimeter tile, it works perfectly for these guys. I think I'll bring the third one down and put it over here. As I've seen, I need a lot of compost to cover all the beds, so for next year my aim is to have all these guys full. So now we've done that, it is time to get on with covering the brassica beds. That's the last thing I want to do. Oh yeah, I still have to plant these guys that I decided to bring down. My own fault. But we'll start with this one here. Knackering, but it is what it is. zip ties at home, so I need to pull zip ties from this other bed in order to finish off the ends of this one. But for now, this will do. Time is 15:58. Time is moving fast, and I really want to get more of these plants put in the ground, so I'm going to move on to this guy over here. So let's get this one done as well, so that it's got the same frame as that one, well, same netting as that one, and then we'll go from there and see what else we can get done. Once I've pulled the zip ties off of here, I'll be able to attach them to there and secure that netting a bit better around the longer sides as well, because I need some of those zip ties to do what I need to do with the netting. But for now, it's secure enough. I'm so grateful I bought this netting. It looks nice. I like it so much. There, I've got reusable zip ties, for which I'm grateful, even if at the time I was buying them I was thinking they were too expensive, but it's worth it because all I'm doing is unraveling the zip ties and tying the net to the top bar, and now I'm going to tie the net to the side bars as well, and this should hopefully give us enough security and keep the net right down. And once I've done that, I'm going to get the broccoli into that bed. Which bed is that? It's this bed there. So I'm going to put half the bed I'm going to fill with broccoli, and the other half will have the purple sprouting broccoli. I'm going to put them a foot aside each, a foot apart, so really and truly I should have just 8 plants in there, but I'm going to put more. Let's see what happens. I'll obviously have to do a lot of feeding during the growing season, but so far I'm okay with what's happening. We also still need to get decide where we're putting the aubergines and peppers and get them in, because they need to be put in. Since I've brought them down, I have to leave them here. Oh my days, I am so knackered, but I've still got a lot to do. But Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. And what I'm thinking is, here I'll put another frame in order that I can put up netting to make this bed another brassica bed, these 2 beds other brassica beds, because I've got too many plants, and then work out how I'm going to fit everything else into what's left. But let's see how we go. You can tell how tired I am, can't you, from the way I'm talking. But I am enjoying it. It's just exhausting and hot, but it needs to be done. So we need to get it done today. Okay, they're in. They're very young. Don't know if they'll survive, but we'll wait and see. Now I'm going to put the other plants here. So I'm going to put the peppers in this bed where the rest of the garlic is, and then because I think I've got a bit of space, and the onions will mask the smell, and then I'll put the aubergines next door for now. Okay, let's get on. Exhaustion often leads to mistakes, so what I was supposed to do is to speed you up again. Well, I do like the speeded up videos because it makes it look like you're moving really fast, but the truth of the matter is I'm moving slow. I've managed to double the speed of this, which shows you how slow I was being. I started off by clearing out all the weeds in the area I wanted to plant in. And then once I had cleared the weeds, I then started to dig out the soil which is there. This is one of the first beds I prepared when I first got the allotment. I took out all the soil in there and sieved it to get rid of the stones, and then realized that that was stupid and too much hard work for anyone to do. So I haven't done the other beds. The plan had been to do exactly the same to all the other beds. And I do love this grid system to the point that I might ultimately set up the other beds with a grid on top of the weed membrane, so that I can still have my square foot gardening system, which helps me to determine how many plants or I can have in each square foot based on what I'm planting. So working with the square foot gardening system, you can only put 1 pepper per square foot. If you're working in a bucket, and I'm thinking of actually doing a video showing you how to grow in containers, buckets, whatever you have available, using the square foot garden system, because if you put the right number of plants in a pot, they will grow well. If you put too many, they will not grow well. So it's quite important for you to make sure that when you're planting, you don't overcrowd your plants. If you overcrowd them, it's the equivalent of having too many kids to one plate of food. Not everyone is going to be able to eat enough. The ones who are more vigorous and strong might eat more than others, and they'll grow better than the ones who don't eat enough. And it's the same with plants, that if you have if you have a plant fighting for nutrition but can't quite get access to it because another of the plants in the same crowded area is getting that food, that plant will remain stunted whilst the other one grows well. So never overcrowd your plants. I am adding the compost to each hole before I plant, because that's the best way to ensure that you're providing a bit of nutrition. I am also adding a bit of extra compost to the surface of the bed, and this will slowly seep into the ground with rain, and also as the worms come up and take it down, we will get richer and richer soil in this bed. Okay, let me get on and finish this, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, peppers are in, and now I need to work out where to put these remaining guys. I've got 2 tomato plants and aubergine, 2 aubergine plants, and I think I'm going to put them in this bed here, and I need to create the holes where I'm going to put them. So let's get on, because the time now is 17:19. And we really and truly need to be finishing off. We can't be carrying on like this. It's not good for us. Okay, let's get going. my mold done. Everything is in. I just need to wash my tools, put stuff away, water these guys in, and hope for the best. I'm sure they'll do fine. At the moment they don't need support, but we shall see how they go. If they survive this week, I will be putting the rest in. So let me just get some water and water them quickly. Okay, we're all done. I then gave the courgettes some watering. They seem to be doing fine and nothing has disturbed them. So let me put my stuff away so I can go home now. The day's done for now.